Hello everyone, Dolphin Oracle here today, coming at you from the just released MX-15. Been a long time coming, several months worth of development, a crap ton of bug fixes from the earlier beta and release candidate releases. Let's take a quick look at the features. If you're running 32-bit, you're going to get the Debian 3.16 kernel. The 32-bit ISO has both kernels on it, the PAE and the non-PAE. So you don't have to choose at download time. You can choose at boot, and you can choose back and forth if you wish. The 64-bit machine is going to come with the 4.2 Debian backport kernel. This kernel's been working out fairly well for us. Use of that kernel required a rewrite of a whole bunch of stuff, which is why there's such a delay between the release candidates and the final. Or between the betas and the release candidates, but hopefully you guys with newer hardware, it will work out a little better for you. Based on Debian 8.2, it's still using XFCE 4.12. We're trying to do a little bit of early filtering of Broadcom driver support for those of you that have Broadcom drivers. That perhaps you need a particular Broadcom driver, particularly in this case B43 and B44. We're going to try to figure that out at your first boot, so you never have to configure it yourself. And yes, we do have UEFI installer support. It's a little bit experimental. It does work most of the time on machines that are conforming to the specification. Those of you with MacBooks, you might want to post and tell us how your experiences go. We've got some successes and some not successes. But the UEFI installer does work just fine. You do have to do manual partitioning, so if you use UEFI installer, do not use the auto install to the drive. I don't believe that works just yet. We've got Firefox 43. That's what I'm running right here. And actually, if we come over to the add-ons, you're going to find that we are running. Our Shockwave Flash is going to show us 20. That's because we are running. This is actually Pepper Flash running inside Firefox with the Fresh Player plugin. This is working fairly well for us. There's only a couple of websites that have issues, particularly those using DRM, because there is no DRM component in Fresh Player. So, major expansion of the liveusb features. Check out the menu options. I'll probably do a separate video on those after the holidays. But the liveusb is even more useful than ever, including, may I add, I am running liveusb exclusively on my Acer C720 Chromebook, and I will be putting up a wiki entry soon. I was just waiting for Final to come out to help you guys configure a liveusb to work on your Chromebook, on your Acer C720 and similar Chromebooks. That's the Intel-based Chromebooks. Ton of new stuff in the MX package installer. Let's just open that real quick here. Obviously, I'm using a Simple Screen Recorder to record this. Simple Screen Recorder does have is hosted in the community repository. One of the few Debian-based distributions that do that. For those of you that care, in the browser area, we've got Tor, we've got Pale Moon. We've got a children's area with a whole bunch of cool stuff, including Scratch. We've got some new development tool area, if you're into packaging and stuff like that. We've got some docs here for your use. Have fun with them. Again, the traditional file managers. We've got new FTP selections, a media converter area. And also, what I want to show you off is the kernel. Now, the kernel area is going to show you packages depending on whether it's 64-bit or 32. And we went ahead and added a fallback kernel, a couple fallback kernels. I got the default kernel, a fallback 3.16 kernel, and then we have the latest Licorix kernel that's hosted in the test repos, and then an alternate kernel. I call it alternate, but it was actually the kernel that was default from beta. So if you happen to run the beta and you liked what you had, you can put that kernel back on in one click, no problem. Ton of new stuff in here. Check it out. It's not listed on in the feature set here, but the guys on the back end in the repository running the repository did update HP's printer application, so it should work with more recent printers. Just a ton of new stuff. Broadcom Manager got updated. Almost everything got updated with at least translations. MX User Manager has some new features. Let's pop that open. I still think this is one of the best user management applications on the planet. Here's where you get to add users and accounts. You can reset and restore a bunch of defaults. You can display the panel horizontally. And we are going to click apply. And there we go. Our panel is displayed horizontally. But you know what? I kind of like the panel that I had, so I'm going to put the backed up configuration, because it backs up the configuration. I'm going to put it back. There we go. You can change your auto login settings here. All kinds of things for syncing accounts. In case you have to make a new account for some reason, you can sync your settings over from one to another. You got some options here for cleaning up old logs and trash folders and things that sometimes get lost. More complicated setups. You can add groups, and you can easily change the group membership of your application. For those of you that use VirtualBox, we'll use it in VirtualBox. The VirtualBox guest editions are installed by default, so it should work really nice in your VirtualBox experience if you want to test things out before you do it. We do have event sounds, and people have asked where the event sounds are located. The event sounds are actually located. This is not our doing. This is an XFCE thing. XFCE does have rudimentary support for event sounds. It's here in settings under appearance, and you don't get to configure very much. You can turn it on, and you can turn it on extra stuff, and you can't hear it, but when you do that, you're going to get little beeps and blurps. And there's actually a login and a logout sound too. So they are there. I'm going to turn them off just so I don't get distracted while I'm making this video. But they are there. You can download other sound themes, and you would configure them in the X settings editor. The information on that is in the MX user manual, which I want to say has been updated for MX-15 already. This is a completely full release. If you do run into any problems, check out the home page. It's going to come up by default in the file browser, in the internet browser. We've got all the information here. Support. We've got the outstanding MX Users Manual. Check it out. It's been updated for this release, and if you can't find it in here, throw a post in the forums, and we'll get things sorted out for you. The community repo. One of the best items about MX is the community repository. If there's an app that is more up to date than what is in our repositories right now, or maybe it isn't in our repositories, there is a request forum. Throw up a request in the forum if it's something you think we should add, and we'll take a look at it. In most cases, we try to add them to the repo. We have one of the more complete Debian backports repositories anywhere that's not Debian backports. So yeah, we've got new wallpapers in the desktop settings. Got some cool stuff. The cat seems to be popular. Oh, it's looking at you. Okay. I'm fond of the road, though. We have a drop-down terminal. Hitting F4 brings down the terminal. This is just a really nice feature release. I've been using the beta and their release candidates for a while now. Thing has just been rock solid. I've actually been using it as my default desktop for a while now. We have some new options in the app notifier. There is an app history, so it's going to show everything I installed. It's going to show whether you installed it through an update or whether you installed it through any of the usual package management systems. It's going to show up in here. So guys, check out MX-15. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Feliz Navidad, whatever your persuasion. Have a Happy New Year. For tips, tricks, how-tos, head over to mepiscommunity.org or throw up a post at forum.mepiscommunity.org. This is Dolphin Oracle signing off. Have a great day.